Black cab drivers have been given a major boost after the government shut down a tax loophole that allowed big app-based minicab firms to undercut them. From now on, private hire operators in London can no longer use a specialist tour operator tax scheme to pay far less VAT than traditional cabbies. For years, many black cab drivers and small firms have paid the full 20% VAT, while large online platforms effectively paid as little as 4%, making it harder to compete. The change means everyone is now playing by the same rules, helping protect drivers' livelihoods and raising around £700 million a year to support public services and ease pressure on the cost of living. Punch Online reports that black cab drivers means drivers who operate London's traditional black taxis, not drivers who are black. The term refers to the type of taxi, the iconic black London cab, also called a hackney carriage, not the driver's race or ethnicity. A government move to close a tax loophole used by large online minicab firms was announced on Friday in a release published on a UK government website and retrieved by our correspondent on Saturday. The measure, unveiled by Home Treasury, bars private hire vehicle operators in London from using the tour operator's margin scheme, a specialist VAT arrangement originally designed for holiday and travel businesses. The change means these firms will now pay VAT on fares in the same way as black cab drivers and smaller taxi operators. According to the Treasury, the reform is intended to ensure fair competition across the taxi industry and is expected to raise around £700 million a year, which the government says will be used to support public priorities including cutting waiting lists, reducing debt and borrowing, and easing the cost of living. Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, said, "We're putting the brakes on the illegitimate use of a niche tax scheme to protect everyday cabbies." "We'll use the £700 million a year this raises to deliver the country's priorities, cutting the cost of living, cutting waiting lists and cutting debt and borrowing." Industry representatives welcomed the announcement, saying it addresses long-standing concerns among licensed taxi drivers. Steve McNamara, General Secretary of the Licensed Taxi Drivers Association, said, "The government's decision to apply VAT to all private hire journeys is a landmark step for fairness and integrity in our industry." For too long, drivers and small operators paying the full 20% VAT have had to compete with online minicab firms benefiting from a niche tax scheme. We welcome this move and commend the government for taking decisive action. The tour operator's margin scheme allows eligible businesses to pay VAT only on the profit margin of certain package trips, significantly reducing the effective tax rate. The government said the scheme had been accessed by a small number of large companies outside its original purpose. Smaller operators outside London, where passengers book directly with drivers, and all black cab services will not be affected by the reform, the Treasury said.